Good evening. For those of you, again, who may not know me, I'm Ken Myers, Jessica's father. And on behalf of my beautiful wife, Jody, I'd like to welcome you guys to this wonderful occasion to celebrate the marriage of Jessica and Kyle. And to thank you all for coming. People come from actually great distances. California, Wisconsin, Oregon, Florida, Minnesota, actually my best man from my wedding, believe it or not. Just as an aside, I actually met Kyle before Jessica. I think I met actually Kyle back in about 2007, 2008. And he had been active in our Boy Scout troop that my son had just joined. And I was kind of reflecting back to that time, and at the start of each meeting, we kind of recite the Scout Oath and Law. And as I kind of thought more about it, I feel strongly that many of the characteristics or virtues of an ideal scout truly describes what I see in my daughter, Jessica. There's a scout motto: be prepared. Preparation. So important in order to be successful in life. This describes Jessica to a T. It is her preparation that resulted in her success in Wilmington, in Chapel Hill, and now at medical school. And you know what? I know it's her preparation that will result in a successful marriage with Kyle. The Scout Law. Jessica is trustworthy. A little story on this. I think at the time Jessica was going into middle school. It was a Friday evening, and she kind of said, I'm going with a guy friend and a girlfriend to a movie. As a dad with a young daughter, I was a little nervous about it. But, I kind of go, okay, movie, group, I think, this will be okay. So I said, go forward. Well, called her a few hours later and said, hey, how was the movie? She ended up saying, well, Dad, you know what? We did not go to the movie. The movie was sold out. Well, not the answer that I wanted to hear. The other problem is I was going, that movie. There's no way that movie sold $1 million in the entire United States. I know that movie never sold out. Well, being the dad that I am, I called the theater. And I asked them, I said, you know what, can I get the tickets for the 9:30 show? And they said, we got tons of tickets. So it was that evening that I discussed with Jessica the importance of trust. Since then, though, she has never failed me. Jessica is loyal. A great thing, Kyle. Great thing. However, sometimes to a fault when it comes to her favorite sports teams. Jessica is helpful. She has been and will continue to be, especially, in the setting of her future career in the field of medicine. Jessica is friendly, courteous, and kind. She basically has the ability to melt your heart. As a father, I said, you know what? There is no way we are going to have an animal in my household. Well, I come back and I say, if you ever see your daughter with brown eyes coming forward with a letter like this, I tell you right now, run. Dear Dad, I wanted a dog forever. Every Christmas it was my number one thing. I've had dreams about dogs. I'm 10. I want a dog. I will take care of him, clean his poo, use my allowance for him, walk him, and give him baths. He can stay out of your life if you want him to. If you say yes, I will be the happiest girl on earth and will know this is a miracle. If you say no, I'll move on. This decision is yours, for you are part of this family. So guess what? We got a dog. Our best friend, Max. Jessica is obedient. Sorry, Kyle. She at least exhibits 11 of the 12 traits of the Scout Law. Jessica is cheerful. I go look at her smile today, and that says it all. Jessica is thrifty. You know what? I'm going to take credit for that one. Jessica is brave. Jessica had just transferred from a small Catholic middle school with about 30 students in her entire class to be a freshman now at Hoggard High School. Hoggard High School has about 2,500 students that go there for those 4 years. And she had one of her good friends that she had done church basketball with and basically talked Jessica into trying out for that high school basketball team. It seemed like a great idea at the time. Luckily for me, Jody had the great pleasure of taking her to her first basketball tryout. However, when they arrived at the gym, Jessica wanted nothing to do with basketball while they sat in that parking lot. Little screaming, little tears. She actually got out of that car and went off to tryouts. And just you know what? She made that team. Believe it or not, she ended up playing for 4 years on Hoggard's basketball team. Jessica's clean and reverent. And I hope Kyle and Jessica will continue to put their faith in God. So in my eyes, she is an ideal scout. Now, Kyle Davis, he is an Eagle Scout. And as Jody and I have continued to get to know him, we have continually seen all those virtues in our new son-in-law. And we are excited and proud to have him in our family. Advice. Thought you were going to get away with that one, huh? Like any father out here, we are good at giving all sorts of advice, whether or not it's good or bad. However, one of the quirks that I have was when I give advice, I would always hand the kids some article or newspaper clipping or really a piece of data that kind of tries to support my argument. One example was that good old argument that every parent has with their child. You know, what's the appropriate bedtime for your child? Like my daughter at age 12 wants to read some crazy article about the need to get 10 hours of sleep. Well, when I found out Jessica was getting married, I ended up getting this magazine in the mail. Literally. How to Stay Married and Why. How to Stay Married. I'm sorry. Staying married is more challenging than ever. But new data, again, I love data. But new data says it's worth it. And you know what? I know it's worth it. And so a toast. Here's to your past for all that it taught both of you. Here's to your present for all that you have shared. And here's to your future for all that you look forward to together. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses to Jessica and Kyle, bride and groom.
Good evening, everyone. How we doing? For those of y'all that don't know me, my name is James, and I am lucky or unlucky enough to be Kyle's best man in this event. I guess it wasn't too hard to get chosen as best man with the rest of the competition in the crowd. But anyways, I was fortunate enough to hang out with Kyle growing up. I knew him ever since we were little kids. We went off to high school and then even to college together at NC State. Go Pack! That's right, go Pack! Which was way better than that school that Jessica chose somehow. But anyways, we were roommates for a few years, and I'll tell you, he's one of the best people you'll ever get to know, and I was lucky to get to know him. If you ever get to know Kyle, you'll find out that there's 3 things that are always true about him. First thing is, and this was good to have as being his best friend growing up, was that, you know, if you dare Kyle to do anything or ask him to do anything, he'll do it. So all those bad ideas you have as a kid growing up, you just ask Kyle to do it for you and you'll find out what happens in the end. And so that played out really well for, you know, Cole, Zach, and I, everybody as we were growing up, from everything from shooting water balloons to your neighbor's backyard while she's trying to sunbathe, or dry ice bombs at the Harris Theater, all kinds of bad things. But in the end, we all came out alive and it was good. Second thing you'll find out about Kyle is he tends to lose stuff a lot, especially his wallet. His parents can definitely attest to this because it's been a lot of stress on them, I'm sure. I think one of the first times that Kyle lost his wallet was when we were in college. As I already said, you know, Kyle went to the great University of NC State, and his best friend was across the street at Chapel Hill. And freshman year, he would take the bus a lot over to see her. And I think he was so distracted by, you know, Jessica being so far away from him and him being 30 minutes on the other side of the state, that on the ride back, he forgot that his wallet was sitting in the seat next to him. And so that caused a lot of problems the next day. But that's how much he loved Jessica. I still can't figure out why he took so many trips over there, but that's why we're here today. The third thing you'll find out about Kyle is that he loves to dance. And not just any dance in particular. Kyle is known amongst his friends for one signature move. Some of you might know it as the fist pump. It goes a little bit like this for Kyle. He gets in this stance right here, and that's it. That's the fist pump. If Kyle's at a bar on any given Friday night, you'll walk in and find him doing that exact move the entire time, probably. Which takes me to one of my favorite memories of Kyle. He was in Philadelphia already working, and he flew down to Raleigh for a state game. We had a great time tailgating, and afterwards I was like, you know, Kyle, we got to go to this club, man. I've been to this club a few times. I know that you're going to absolutely love it. It was called Alchemy, downtown Raleigh. I'm sure some of y'all have been to it. But Kyle and I would go into this bar, and there was a deep line, so I was like, all right, I'll get some drinks. You just hang out here. I'll be right back. So I get up to the bar, get some drinks. I turn around. Kyle's nowhere to be found. I was like, oh, crap, I just lost him. Just lost my best friend. Came in from Philly. And all of a sudden, there's all this commotion on the center of the dance floor. So I make my way through the crowd with this drink, and there was Kyle right in the center. Boom. Strobe lights going off and everything. They had misters in this place. I mean, it was nuts. And Kyle was loving it. That was the happiest I think I've ever seen him in my life. But I was shortly proven wrong. That wasn't the happiest that Kyle had ever been, because later that night, we went back to my apartment after we'd had a great time, and he pulled out his phone, and I was like, what's going on, Kyle? And he just lit up, and he said, here's a picture of the ring I just bought for Jessica. And at that moment, I knew he was the happiest that he was ever going to be, because he had found his best friend for life. So here's to you, Kyle, and Jessica. Nothing but happiness.
So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Anna, and I am one of Jessica's best friends. I met Jessica about 5 years ago now, walking to our sorority house. It was the day after bid day, and we were going to our first member meeting. And I was walking with my roommate at the time, who was in another sorority. So when it came time to part, my roommate said, bye, have fun and find you. and this girl in front of us turned around. It was Jessica. She goes, "You going to find Mew?" And I was nervous, yeah, I am. And she was like, "Me too, walk with me." I just remember I was so nervous, and Jessica was just so calm and relaxed, how she always is, and calmed me down instantly. Anyways, we walked to the house after that, and since then we've been best friends. So anyways, when I was writing the speech, I started to write down everything that I admired about Jessica, and it was at least a page. So in order to save some time, I'm going to go over my favorite 3. Number 1, Jessica, you are the most beautiful, brilliant, and hardworking person that I know. You guys can just look at her and know she's beautiful. And most of you probably know she's brilliant. Acing her way through college, going straight into med school out of undergrad, where she's currently killing it, and soon become one of the best doctors any of us have ever known. Number 2, she is the most supportive and encouraging person that I know. From silly things like when she pulled me out to the middle of Franklin Street after my first time rushing because we beat Duke, and encouraging me, and encouraging me to jump over the biggest fire there was. Although it sounds dangerous, it's one of those once-in-a-lifetime Carolina experiences that I would not have experienced without Jessica. To more important things like today, these days, when Jessica listens to me talk about my future goals and career aspirations, and you're always there to support me and encourage me to follow my dreams, and I don't know who I would talk to if it weren't for you. Oh gosh, I'm shaking. Number 3, Jessica would do anything for a friend. There's tons of examples of this, but the most recent example was about 3 weeks ago now. One of our friends, Lindsay, got engaged, and Jessica and Kyle drove down from Philly for 7 hours to North Carolina to be there for her for one night, because Jessica, you'd never miss one of the most important nights of one of your friends' lives. All right, now on to Kyle. So, Kyle and Jessica were dating when I first met them, so I don't have any silly story about going out one night and this guy sweeping off her feet. But I have some funny stories with Kyle over the past 5 years. I'll just go over my favorite. We both know what that was. It's probably our 21st birthday party. For those of you that don't know, Kyle and I have the same birthday. So we had a joint 21st birthday party in Chapel Hill. And that night, we went out to He's Not Here on a Sunday night and sang karaoke the whole night long. We took over the stage. No one else got to sing. I think we sang everything from Miley Cyrus to Leonard Skinner. I don't know if either of us remember many of them, just because we were having so much fun, right? But I heard the best was Free Bird, for sure. All joking aside, Kyle, I can't imagine someone more perfect for Jessica. You guys have so much fun together, and it's clear how much you love her. From the day I met you, I've never doubted that you're perfect for her. You guys' love is so genuine. And I've loved watching you grow from college to adopting Mav, to moving to Philly, to start a new chapter in life, to becoming husband and wife today. I'll always turn to you for what a perfect relationship looks like. I love you both. So if everyone can raise their glasses. To Jessica and Kyle.